So, hello, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome everyone to our first ever episode of Life in Switzerland. In this series, we'll present you about life in Switzerland from an Indian perspective, which can be really helpful for people who want to move to Switzerland for their studies or eventually work. My name is Ayush, and I'm from YUVA India. YUVA stands for Youth United via Action. So it's the Indian Student Association of EPFL and UNL. And here we present to you the first episode live in Switzerland. So today we have a very mixed panel with us, ranging from PhD, masters to postdocs. We will present to you about our brief perspective of Switzerland from whatever time we have spent here. And then at the end, you will have a chance to ask the questions. So starting with Bhushan. Bhushan, can you please introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Bhushan and I'm a last year PhD student here in physics. So I'm from Karnataka in India.
So how long have you been here?
Um, just about 3 years, like it's
Oh,
close to 3.5 years now.
excellent. Then moving on to Vishwa.
Hello, I am a master student at EPFL, pursuing material science. I've been here for 1.5 years now.
That's really nice. So where are you from in India?
I am from Mumbai.
Oh, awesome. Moving on to Arvind.
Hello, you can hear me, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, because I'm having some internet issues. That's why I was.
No worries.
Yeah, okay. So my name is Arvind Iyer. I'm the vice president of the UA. I'm doing my PhD in computational biology in University of Lausanne. I've been over here for 1 year, 4 months, and I come from. So my basic hometown is Kerala. My mother tongue is Tamil, but I live from like I basically reside in Gujarat. But I also did my masters in Delhi, in Triple IT Delhi. So basically, I have been in multiple parts of India. So I don't know how to relate myself which part of India I belong to.
Awesome.
But I'm a proper South Indian. So that's
Awesome.
much about me.
Awesome. And last but not the least, Mukesh Tripathi. Can we have your introduction, please?
Yeah, hi, I'm Mukesh. I'm doing my postdoc here. It's been almost 2 years for me. I'm originally from Amethi. I guess you know this part of India.
Yep. All right.
Mhm.
And here we also have Mukesh Thakur, who is the tech support for this session and also the president of our association. So, Mukesh, can we have your introduction as well?
Hi, I'm Mukesh Thakur. Uh, yeah, I'm doing a PhD at EPFL, working in microelectronics and 2D materials and biological fronts.
Mhm.
So basically, I'm Indian, but I was born in Nepal. So you will know more about me once you are here. As Ayush said, he is a communications manager at our association at EPFL. Currently, I'm the president, and Arvind is a vice president, and we have Vishwa as well, who's taking care of all the frontline defense. But yeah, we'll talk about Yuva Indians later. So welcome you all. Yeah, if you have any questions and anything comes to your mind, please put it in the chat, or you can just ask us as well. If not in this session, maybe drop an email or something. But yeah, this is your time. So
Yep.
Ayush,
Okay.
yeah, go ahead.
Awesome. So, I'll introduce myself as well. So, my name is Ayush and I'm from Calcutta. I am here in Switzerland for last almost 8 months. I moved here in February. So basically, I'm the newest one here, and one of the selfish reasons for taking organizing this session was to know more about Switzerland from people who have already been living here longer than I have been. So here we go. So first question goes to who should I ask? Who should I ask? Who should I ask? Bhushan.
Yes.
As okay, Bhushan. So Switzerland is quite famous as a tourist place,
Hmm.
and people from all over the world come here for visiting here. But I mean, I just want to know what's here in Switzerland more than mountains. I mean, You have been here way longer than I have been, so please tell us what's there other than the mountains in Switzerland.
I mean, first of all, the mountains are very different in different part of Swiss. So
Mhm,
let's say I explore something close here in Vaud or in Valais may look similar, but I go to Bern or somewhere other part of Swiss, they are
mhm,
actually different.
mhm,
So I like hiking or doing sports like skiing. So that's where I started to look for this. But the
mhm,
mountain villages are also equally attractive in many ways. They have their own local food and local drinks, for example, which uh, which can make them unique and not the same. But there are mountains everywhere in Swiss, but they are all different. That's what I want to say here.
mhm. Okay. So, have you visited the most famous places, like, say, for example, the DDLJ point or other stuff like that?
Not really. I
Okay.
go to Interlaken many times for
Okay.
other reasons, just for
Okay.
hiking or
Okay.
uh, for just for like outdoor activities. But I was not looking for DDLJ locations or any NRI movies here.
Okay. 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 So, thank you so much. So, moving on to Vishwa. So, like you said, you're here for your master's and you have been here for 1.5 years now. So, moving from India to Switzerland, what was the biggest cultural shock, or what was the biggest difference that you found in Swiss system?
So I'm from Mumbai and I've like spent 22 years of my life since
Mhm,
birth in Mumbai.
mhm,
This was the first trip or the first venture outside my house. So it was different for me in that sense that I was away from my family as well.
mhm,
Cultural shock here, everybody's so nice to each other. Mumbai, that's not always the case. But yeah, so everybody is really helpful here. And you'll have cross-functional teams in every project if you are a master student.
mhm,
So not too difficult to adapt.
mhm,
It's just the good weather also. So
mhm,
yeah, overall not much cultural shock, but
mhm.
an improvement, I would say.
Okay. That's nice. So, Vishwa, as we all know that you also head the help desk for YUVA Indians. So, what is the most common query that you get from the prospective students?
It depends on if they are planning to apply, then
Mm-hmm,
it would be more towards how should they shape their profile
mm-hmm,
or what are their chances to get into, which I'm
mm-hmm.
not always sure how to answer.
Okay.
But after they have got their admissions,
Mm-hmm,
the questions are more straightforward. And in terms of what
mm-hmm.
they should bring or what they should not be carrying, what is already available here. So
Okay.
onboarding stuff.
Okay, okay, sounds good. So let me tell our viewers that in future we will be having a specific session for like applying to EPFL or Swiss universities in general. And also later during spring, we can have a session on what to bring, what not to bring, and how to pack your bags for Switzerland. So if you haven't already subscribed to our channel or liked our Facebook page, now is the time. So moving on to Mukesh, the most experienced guy here, probably the richest on the panel. So first question, how much money do you have in your Swiss banks?
It should be enough to live.
That's a good thing. Like we all will have a Swiss bank account.
Yep.
Coming on a serious note, obviously the salary like increase as per your like job, whether you're PhD or postdoc or
Mhm,
scientist, and also like as privileged like as per like privileges like many sort of extra perks. But so which is also one good part like in living in Switzerland apart from like life and also country wise like nature, so it's also certainly one advantage.
mhm. So, I mean, like when we are usually in India, we always hear about having like black money in Switzerland and the Swiss bank stuff, like those big banks with like huge bunkers and stuff. How different is Swiss bank from Indian banks, if you have to just give a quick comment on it?
I mean, in terms of working, it's a bit different here. It's everything straightforward. That's the only
Mhm.
difference I could feel. I mean,
Okay.
other than that, it's just a bank. I mean, there's just like
Okay.
if you are here entitled, you are here entitled. If you have a job, you are entitled to have an account, and
Mhm.
that's all. So not much difference. Just
Mhm.
in terms of like
Okay. So, I mean, in conclusion, we can say that all we hear about the Swiss bank stuff back in India is nowhere close to what it is.
no, it's just a normal bank. That's all.
Okay. Good to know. So, moving on to Arvind. I mean, Arvind, tell me, you have lived various places across India and you are quite used to adapting to different cultures and environment. So, moving to Switzerland, what is the best tip that you can give to anyone for adapting or mingling into the culture?
Okay. Okay, it's a bit tough question for me to answer. Uh, to be very frank, I have still not yet got adapted to the Swiss culture. I'm still struggling and still finding my feet.
Okay.
That's what I would like to say.
Okay.
But because it's been like a drastic change.
Mm-hmm.
Because in India you're quite used to the noise, to the
Mm-hmm.
talking to a lot of people, to the crowd, because of the places where I've been living to, it's full of
Mm-hmm.
crowded of people. And now you're coming to Switzerland, which is, to be very frank, in terms of Indian state, it's a very small country, and
Mm-hmm.
in that also it has very limited population.
Mm-hmm.
So initially it was bit struggle for me to get used to that sort of an atmosphere where silence is one of the predominant factor, like
Okay.
like like the peace and silence which you get over here sometimes eats you out.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one factor which is something which people will find very difficult if they're not used to it.
Mm-hmm.
uh, Apart from that, I feel that, okay, language is also a barrier, because
Mm-hmm.
I feel that if you know French a bit, you can interact more with local people and local audience. But as for the university settings and normal conversation goes, you don't need the language. But if you want to get into the, so it depends on the personality. If the person wants to go and explore the local markets and
Mm-hmm.
wants to have like interact with the Swiss community and do community service and all that stuff,
Mm-hmm.
learning some Swiss official language is better.
Mm-hmm.
but but it's quite difficult. It's quite hard for me to put in words like what are the different culture changes which you see.
Mm-hmm.
Overall it's an experience. Like
Okay.
for me it's a big experience because I'm the first person from my family who has come out
Okay.
uh, to a new country.
Mm-hmm.
So so I am still trying to find my feet. That's
Okay.
what I would like to say.
Okay. That's nice to know. So, talking about culture cannot be complete without talking about food. So, I mean, this is an open question to all our panelists. I mean, what are your favorite Swiss food? Like Swiss cheese, for example, is quite popular. So are Swiss chocolates and the Swiss raclette and fondue. So, I mean, what are your favorite Swiss foods? And is there something that you discovered for the first time here in Switzerland? We can start with any one of you. I mean, if to, or I'll pick the name. So we start with Mukesh Tripathi. Yeah.
yes, certainly fondue and raclette both were like new. Like certainly we don't get it in India, so it was certainly new for me
Mhm.
in Switzerland. Uh,
Mhm.
yeah, pretty much this. Other
Okay.
than that, we can get in the rest of the parts.
Okay. That's nice to know. Bhushan, what do you have to say about this? Your favorite Swiss food?
Regarding food, I don't think Switzerland has a stronghold here. When
Okay.
we talk,
I,
when we
I
talk,
was gonna say that, but I was
Okay.
but okay,
refraining from making
uh,
that comment.
Okay.
plenty of varieties of cheese here and there.
Mhm.
Different
Mhm.
regions have different cheese. Let's say I went to Appenzell, I had a local vegetarian
Mhm.
food which was pretty
Mhm.
good and different. For example,
Mhm. Mhm.
the, um, but mostly these varieties come in summer because in winter they the food is too bland. It's just
Okay.
cheese.
Okay.
But I don't see too many varieties here, or at least
Mhm.
from my perspective.
Okay, okay, okay. Vishwa, what do you have to say?
Well, I haven't tried many restaurants yet here,
Okay,
but yeah, I'm a fan of fondue. So
okay,
yeah.
good to know. And Arvind.
I like raclette. That's
Okay.
okay. I had never I had okay. So first thing, so I remember first time when I went to Coop. So
Mm-hmm.
in my life, I have never seen a whole section of cheese.
Okay.
Like I was stunned to see so many different variety of cheese. So
Mm-hmm.
for me, finding so many different variety of cheese, as Bhushan said, is one of the thing which you find more in Switzerland. And each
But
cheese
one
is
more thing to mention, sorry, is that I think during November there is a hunting season, right?
Mm-hmm.
yeah
That's where for core non-vegetarians it's a fest, I guess, because there is a lot of this mountain
Mm-hmm.
deers and this they one can get access to this non-conventional meat other than beef or
Okay. Okay. That's good to know. So for our friends who love eating meat and other non-veg
yeah
items. So yes, what were you saying, Arvind?
yeah. So I
Your
was
cook
saying that
story.
yeah, I was just saying that the cheese is something which you will be amazed to find so many cheese, so
Mm-hmm.
many varieties.
Mm-hmm.
And I liked raclette a lot. I had
Okay.
never heard about that dish,
Okay.
and when I got to eat that, I was like, wow, this is super nice.
Okay, okay. So for people who are not aware what raclette is, so raclette is a typical Swiss dish where you grill or bake certain meat, vegetables, or other different varieties of food. It can be crunchy, it can be savory, it can be like as bland as potatoes, and then you pour those melted cheese on top of it. It's a really nice Swiss delicacy. You should really try it once if you ever get a chance. So, from Vishwa, you said that you don't often visit restaurants. So, I'm assuming that you mainly cook your own meal. So, how easy or difficult is it to find the raw materials or ingredients that you use for cooking? If I assume that you are cooking mainly Indian stuff.
Yeah. So I had my all spices bought from India
Mm-hmm.
earlier, but
Mm-hmm.
then I found out that there are many Asian stores here as well. So spices and raw materials like dal or maybe rice and all is not a problem.
Mm-hmm.
And daily groceries like vegetables and maybe even fruits if you require,
Mm-hmm.
you get it easily at Migros or dinner,
Okay.
and like not too costly as well. So
Okay.
like finding anything for cooking is not difficult here. So
Okay. So, what are your experiences like Mukesh, Bhushan, Arvind? How do you manage your day-to-day meals? Do you have enough time to cook and work and study, or like how is it for you?
that depends. I mean, not enough time for sure in the last year of PhD, but
Okay.
Yeah, no. So for me, I try to manage in some or the other way. Like
Mhm.
for me, the big good point is that at least I have a very good cordial relation with my PI.
Okay.
So he allows me to start bit late in the lab, so that
Okay.
in the morning I can do a proper cooking of Indian food and then take
Wow.
my lunchbox.
That's really good.
Because generally the Swiss timing starts from 8 or 9. That's
Mhm.
the typical time, but I generally go at 10. So
Mhm.
that's something which I get, but then I work little late also. So
Mhm.
that's how I manage. And I
Mhm.
just wanted to add what Vishwa was saying, that you generally get every type of Indian thing which you are looking for in Switzerland, like all
Mhm.
the spices and stuff.
Mhm.
Only maybe only the drawback might be in the vegetable section if you are a
Mhm.
vegetarian, that you don't get a lot of fresh vegetables. Like
Mhm.
a lot of vegetables are frozen, so that's the only catch there might be there,
Mhm.
which is a small thing, like, but that's the case.
So when you
So
speak about vegetables are being frozen, are you talking about the typical Indian vegetables or like even potatoes, onion, tomatoes as well?
yeah, no, well, so for example, I have so far have never seen that you get fresh beans
Mhm.
in any Coop, Migros or Denner's.
Okay.
Generally people go for the frozen ones.
Okay.
That's one of the dish which you generally get in India quite openly.
no, I think
Mhm.
fresh beans is still available in some groups.
Yeah,
Okay.
but it's quite like it's
Rare.
not that
Yeah,
Mhm.
widely available, right? So
Okay.
people
Okay.
generally take the this thing.
And for
Then
example, peas are always frozen
Okay.
yeah,
or they come in cans.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
And if someone wants to buy a fish, for example, that's also
Mm-hmm.
frozen.
Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So Arvind just briefly touched upon the time in Switzerland starts at like 8 or 9, and Switzerland is also quite famous for watches. So I mean, how do you find it like being uh, on time in Switzerland? Because like in India, it's if a meeting starts at 8, we are like, okay, we expect people to join around 8:15 or something. So here I have heard about the academic quarter. Can any one of you tell me about that? Maybe Mukesh can speak something about that.
Uh, act- to me, actually, it doesn't matter
Okay.
because it's like up to task, like
Mm-hmm.
as like there is no fixed timings basically, like
Mm-hmm.
up to task. If you can finish in time, like
Mm-hmm.
early or like 6 or 7, sometimes we stay late, sometimes we go late, sometimes we go
Mm-hmm.
early. So
Mm-hmm.
it's more about that. So there is no fixed timing for me. So
Mm-hmm.
probably I cannot comment like
Mm-hmm.
others, but yeah,
Yep.
to me it's
Okay.
uh,
Okay.
just to add the vegetable part. So there are a couple of like bio
Mm-hmm.
options available. So you just need to register, and they in fact they deliver. In fact, you're in an office in EPFL or even at home. It's the
Mm-hmm.
only drawback. It's slightly expensive, but you can get all the bio veg and which is like fresh and also like on time.
Oh, that's a good thing to know. So, we are almost moving towards the end of the panel discussion. And just before we open the stage for the Q&A, I would like each of our panelists to say like one uh, tip or like one thing they love about Switzerland. Any last closing remarks? So we can start with Arvind.
Okay. Ah, quite tough to say this.
I mean, you can talk about your Swiss experience or how has your time been so far, and it's up to you. It's the floor is yours.
Okay, so I will say that coming to Switzerland has made me more disciplined.
Mm-hmm.
Like discipline is something which I was lacking maybe,
Mm-hmm.
and with Switzerland culture is more like you value the time a lot. Like
Mm-hmm.
you can't miss a bus because the bus if it's at 9:10, the bus will leave at 9:10. So
Mm-hmm.
you value the timing. So that's one
Okay.
of the thing which I've learned.
Mm-hmm.
Like you need to manage your time very well. And
Mm-hmm.
the next very important thing which I've learned is
Mm-hmm.
to enjoy the weekends. Like
Okay.
these people have this thing that they work for 5 days in a week and then they enjoy their Saturday and Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, while as Indians, we are quite used to working a lot, so we tend to even work on Saturdays and Sundays sometimes. So this is
Okay.
something which I have learned coming over here in 1.5 years, that
Mm-hmm.
delegate your work and
Mm-hmm.
personal life much better.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my take of being in Switzerland so far, and still I'm exploring and still learning a lot of
Mm-hmm.
new.
Okay. Then going alphabetically to Bhushan.
Yeah, I agree with Arvind. All the pros of living in Swiss. But in addition, I would also like to say about accessibility.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say if I like traveling during weekends, and if I want to go to some remote place, I can go there very easily.
Mm-hmm.
You can just look in the SBB app and find, okay, how can I go there? There are multiple ways to reach there, and I
Mm-hmm.
can know exactly when I can reach. So this planning and all these things are very easy here.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is something it's has been very new for me since I have been
Mm-hmm.
in Swiss, and
Mm-hmm.
I really like this one.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much, Mukesh.
I, I guess that's I mean for me individually it was not difficult because I did my PhD here, so transition was
Wow.
easy.
Okay.
Uh,
Mm-hmm.
transition was not that complicated, but I think additionally what I can add is like weather. So we are not used to in India like for 6 7 months winter or something like this,
Mm-hmm.
even if it's not too much, but it's still it's like
Mm-hmm.
so at some point after a few years we start like feeling this winter. So this the one thing new. Like after some
Mm-hmm.
years you start feeling okay, it's winter is too much, but because we
Okay.
are used to like see the sun in like after, so that's one thing for sure new here in
Okay.
Europe.
Mhm. That's good to know. Thank you so much. And Vishwa.
For me, it's like all these points, definitely
Uh-huh.
routine, but in addition to that, the public transport,
Okay.
especially the SBB trains for
Mm-hmm.
the intercity transport. So I
Mm-hmm.
recall that I had a semester project which was in Sion last
Mm-hmm.
semester, and I used
Mm-hmm.
to travel from Lausanne to Sion every
Mm-hmm.
day, like to and fro.
Okay.
So that would be like around 1 hour, but it would be like a seamless experience, and I could even work en route.
Okay.
So that was really good. I mean, in India, we can't think of working when we are traveling by train or something like
Mm-hmm.
that. But
Mm-hmm.
here it is possible. So yeah,
Okay.
that's that advantage for me.
Okay. So thank you so much, everyone, for sharing your experiences. And now we open the floor for questions from our guests who are there with us in this Zoom meeting. So maybe you can briefly introduce about yourself and ask anything that you would like to ask if you have any question, or you can just come and say hello. Riddha, Venkat, Naman, Shyam, anyone?
Hey, Venkat
Hello.
here. Hey,
Hello.
hey, thank you, Ayush and all, actually organizing for this one. I think it's a good one. I've just been following on you on the Twitter now. So
Mhm.
actually, I'm living in Swiss now. I'm in Vevey.
Okay. Okay.
Been there for a couple of years already.
Okay.
So working at Nestle as a integration manager.
Wow.
I
That's
wanted to
good to know.
just see. I wanted to just see and okay, get to know about EPFL and all you guys and see okay, because
Mhm.
I've also get similar kind of questions like my friends and
Mhm.
other friends like I
Mhm.
mean if they want to study like what they need to do and all,
Mhm.
okay, and what is the
Mhm.
process for admissions in EPFL or renal.
Mhm.
So I just wanted to learn and see okay if you have
Mhm.
anything on this, and I think it's a good session. I think you're gonna have a separate session for the masters and other programs, right, going
Yes.
forward.
Exactly.
So now I would like to also kind of forward and encourage the aspirants in India, okay,
Mhm.
in my own network to join these sessions to learn something out of it,
Mhm.
so that
Mhm.
we share some valuable information there. And if it
Absolutely.
if it ever, anything comes up, particularly working or living in Switzerland, if there
Mhm.
are any questions, I'm happy to answer or share any information.
Absolutely.
Okay.
It was a pleasure to have you. Thank you so
Yeah.
much for
Thank you.
yeah,
Thank you.
for joining us. Riddha, Shyam, Naman, do you guys have anything to say?
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, I am it. Actually, I haven't started my studies there
Mhm.
yet. I'll be joining in January.
Oh,
So,
see you
um,
soon.
yeah, as a PhD student. So I wanted to ask that you people have actually talked about everything, but
Mhm.
I wanted to ask like how is the night life at Lausanne or
Okay.
something like
That's a very good question. I mean, I guess Mukesh Thakur would be the best person to answer
that? Okay.
that question. So, Mukesh,
What was the question? I didn't
Thanks,
get.
Ayush.
it's the
Hi, Rida.
nightlife in Lausanne.
Ah, okay.
Oh my God. I'm not from
Okay.
Well,
um.
it's peak after COVID. It's no life. But yeah, I mean, it's good. It's very chill. It's very safe to start with.
Mhm.
And Rida is from IIT Bombay, so I am also from the same campus, same building, and probably different floors. So
Okay.
yeah, but yeah, so it's safe, and the nightlife is pretty good. You have restaurants open. Well, not all the restaurants. Some restaurants open until late evening, let's say 12, and
Midnight.
yeah, and the family restaurants they probably close around 10.
Mhm.
Um, and then you have friends in your lab, around the lab. You have many, let's say, small parties on the campus that
Mhm.
you can meet there. Every now and then you have this PhD defenses. It's called public PhD defense, and then after the defense you can meet people and yeah, socialize more.
Mhm.
uh, in terms of apps, social apps that we obviously know in India about Tinder and Bumble, all these things do exist here as well. I hope my girlfriend is not watching this. But yeah,
Okay.
the most
I
important thing like the food and then people are there, they're very chill
Mhm.
and they're very helpful as well.
Okay.
There are not many people who speak English, but they kind of know what you're trying to say,
Mhm.
and then
Yeah,
it's
I
very
just
easy to make
wanted to say
friends.
this that before COVID, like around the Flawn area, which is the center of the city, if you go in the night, you will always find a lot of young people walking in the street, singing, dancing, because that's like most happening area, which has a lot of what you call discos and stuff like that. So
Mhm.
which are generally open. I don't know how much late, but they are pretty late.
Okay.
So you generally find a lot of people over there.
Mhm.
And apart from that, as Mukesh was pointing out, that generally people also try to spend time around the lake in
Mhm.
summer
Wow.
because the sun sets like 9, 10
Wow.
sometimes. So
Mhm.
people try to spend time over there in the lake, and you can find some people until 11:30. Like I have find people around 11:30 when I was returning back.
So,
So there are people around. It's just that it depends on personal taste and what
mhm.
kind of life you are looking for.
Mhm.
But Switzerland in general covers all aspect of uh, the life which you're aiming for.
Okay.
Okay, so unlike Ubers and metros and all, they turn all night and all.
Mm, so I can answer this. So I guess Ubers are 24/7,
Mhm.
if I remember correctly.
Yes.
The buses, depending on the location where you're living, the last bus will be like 12:30 max, or 12:15 will be the last bus, and it starts at 5. So it's like the 5 hours is 5:15 is when the reschedule starts. And with the SBB trains also, it's quite similar. Like depends on which location you are. Sometimes it can be early, but I guess the last train in Lausanne is like 1, if I remember correctly, to
Mhm.
some location. So this is my knowledge.
Mhm.
So
Okay.
in general, you have transportation till 12 for sure, and after 12 also there are some, I don't know what is.
Night buses.
Yeah,
Yeah, some taxis.
Yeah, there are some night
you have
buses
the night
to
buses, and also I mean, you don't get lost actually. So if
Yeah.
you
Yeah, I was
plan
gonna
just,
say this.
yeah,
Mhm.
if you just plan ahead, okay, I think there
Mhm.
are kind of the
Yeah.
frequency is longer
Mhm.
usually, okay, after 12:30.
Mhm.
So I think it lasts like a, if you have it 1:15, then you'll have it 2 o'clock. Okay, so it's like this in the early morning,
Mhm.
but you'll get there. I think you're not lost there.
Yep.
And also just want to add that Lausanne in itself is like 5 to 7 kilometers in radius, so you can basically walk from one place to another. So I have done that. Sometimes I missed uh, coming from must list my last bus, so then I had to walk. So okay, it's 1.5 kilometers and you can walk. It's good for
That's
you.
doable. Yeah.
And
Sure.
it's
Thank you
safe,
so
yeah,
much.
no need to worry, it's safe
Yeah, I
in the
was gonna
night.
say this. Yeah,
Yeah.
Switzerland is quite safe.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay. So Naman and Shan, coming back to you guys. Okay. Mukesh. Oh, hello, Naman.
Hello. Hi,
Hello.
Ayush.
Hi.
Yeah, so I'm basically from IIT Bombay as well. I'm an
Oh.
undergraduate,
Mhm.
and mostly, if everything works out, I'll be coming to EPFL for a semester exchange
That's
in
good to
this
know.
Feb.
Mhm.
So yeah, so just join the meeting too and asking questions on the chat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I could see that. So that's good to know. And if we don't have any more questions, then I guess uh, we can be a bit more Swiss and end the session on time. So, Mukesh, do we have any more questions?
I think we are good.
Okay, good to know.
Um, yeah.
So now I would like to invite Mukesh to introduce everyone about YUVA as association and deliver the vote of thanks.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, Ayush. So, guys, this was Ayush's idea that he brought up to our association. It's all for you guys to help talented Indian students, to because we have a lot of questions which are not usually on paper, and which you can only get when you have this kind of interaction. We try a lot to put it in words and on the paper and on the screen, digital ink, but it's not always, uh, a simple thing, a simple small doubt can stop the whole process, and there's a kind of a mental block. So the whole idea of this is to remove that, and then to have one-on-one and speak, not formally but informally like friends, and then to ease the process kind of thing. Uh, just quickly, I would like to introduce our group. So our group is called YUVA Indians. It's a group, but officially it's an association. The association is registered with EPFL, and its association also extends to UNIL. Um, and the whole idea of association is to have community integration. And when I say community integration, it's not only for Indians, it's for more. It's global kind of thing. And obviously, we are Indian association, so we have all the Indians together. But we also want to extend this to other people, uh, because, yeah, we believe in globalization.
And that's the
Uh,
whole point of living abroad, the cultural exchange and mingling with other people from different nationalities.
exactly. And it's cultural integration, right? They know our culture, we understand their culture, and it's like it is for global harmony. I would put like that. I will quickly share screen just for people to know that we have our website. Just go through that. Uh, for more questions, we have the FAQ section that you can find all lot of generic questions, I would say, that people have, and then you can just scroll through each of these sections. And then if you have problem, just contact us. If you want to know more about the members who are in the committee, you can go through our members. I chose this thing because this is faster. And then obviously, if you know what events we organize, so you have a whole list of events that have been going on for a while now, and then the current events are here. So yeah, also feel free to, if you're already registered with EPFL, feel free to, yeah, contribute. And yeah, that's it. And then on the final note, I would also like to thank all our panelists, Mukesh Tripathi, Arvind, Bhushan Hedge, Vishwa, and all the members as well. I hope I'm not missing anyone. Obviously, Ayush. But yeah, thank you very much for taking your time. I know people have been like it's a Saturday, and then have the people were outside. Nice, it's a nice sunny day. People are working in the lab, and they still got time for helping others. This is it's what seniors do. We help our juniors. So thank you, everyone. We will have a second episode soon, with Ayush will obviously talk about, and then we hope to meet all of you guys again. And please feel forward to send the links to people who are aspirants for masters, PhD, postdocs, whatever. They might this session will be helpful for them for sure. All right, back to you, Ayush.
Okay, so thank you so much, Mukesh. So as we mentioned, in future we are going to organize several similar sessions where we will talk about on your journey to Switzerland, be it as a master student or an exchange student, and we can have more focused sessions. So don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channels, and send us any questions, feedback, comments, so that we can curate the sessions according to your needs. And see you until next time. Bye bye.
Okay.
Hey, thank you. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye bye. Thank you.
Thank you.